Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Poodcast, the best thing to happen to your ears since the Steam Gardens music in Super Mario Odyssey. Usually we record this shit at an ungodly hour in the night, but this time we're doing things a little bit differently, because we're recording at an ungodly hour in the morning. And that's because, oh, by the way, this fucker Brian is here.
Yeah, it's an ungodly hour in the morning for you. It's an ungodly hour in the morning for me because I have been up all night. So this is technically night for me. I'm on a similar schedule as Push, I guess, who lives in
Japan.
Completely different area, Japan.
Yeah, he lives in mainland China or some shit.
Yeah, you can go visit it. You can visit it now in Yakuza 0 at your local retailer.
As long as you download the demo.
Or
download the demo
Yakuza
for
6
Yakuza
demo.
6.
Oh, what a cluster. Oh, I really wish I had downloaded it. That would have saved me money. I would have bought it later. It's just like, money's a little tight for me right now.
I doubt it would have been, like, good or finished.
No, the game's done.
No, the game's done. Yeah. It's just packaging
No,
and
but,
shipping.
like, isn't the,
It's a
isn't
full
the reason
game.
why it's delayed is for translation?
The reason it's delayed, they said quality issues, but you know what? Games are usually done like a month or two in advance.
Well,
like,
I mean, the game's been out in Japan. I'm just saying, I'm sure, like, if you download the demo and you were playing the full game, there's probably moments where the translation, like, breaks or text breaks or something.
maybe, but I mean, that they could just patch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the demo.
Well, okay, true.
That was not the intention.
Yeah.
I figure what happened was my theory is that they submitted like a debug version to
No. Do you know what happened? Was that
what album?
they were allowing people to save their progress within the demo, and carry it over into the full game. And apparently they just made the full game, like, they just made part of it a demo, but then they messed up the code. And so, like, the part where the demo is supposed to end, like, you can actually find ways to get around it, apparently, and then just play the full game.
Yeah, because they were just going to make it so when they updated the game, when you buy the game, it just puts a code in the demo that makes it the full version.
Yeah.
That's why it was 36 gigs.
That's a really awkward way of doing that.
Right?
You might as well just just only make it like the first hour.
Yeah, Colin and I were talking about this. There was a similar incident way back when with Panorama Cotton, where
Also Crash Bash.
Yeah, so what happened was they basically made it so they put the full game on the demo disc, and after you finish the initial level, it would kick you out to the title screen. But because it was the full game, the level select cheat still worked.
Yeah.
So you could just use the whole thing, finish the game, and free video games.
Crash Bash had the same thing where I think if you had a PlayStation magazine, they you just type in a cheat code and boom, all of Crash Bash at your disposal. So before we started talking, before we started recording, we were talking about these. I have this slight infatuation with Chinese bootleg hardware. If y'all have never gone to AliExpress, I highly recommend it. I fucking love these little knockoff like Game Boy and NES things.
I know, they're like Bratz dolls for you.
I don't own a lot of them. I think I own...
I don't own a lot.
I don't own a lot. I own
shelf.
like 2 of them. Yeah, I have the GB Boy Color, which is a Game Boy Color with a backlight, which means it's infinitely better than the original. And I just purchased a bootleg of a bootleg, so that should be fun.
But Colin,
yeah,
I mean, they're like $3 each, so I can
they're not that.
I can understand.
They're super cheap.
They're not that expensive. That's kind of the fun of it, is that you're not really, like, losing money. Well, you are, but you're not losing, like, that much. You're losing, like, a lunch amount of money.
Yeah.
So Dustin's here. He's from Source Filmmaker.
Yeah.
And, I've been holding in that joke for a week.
I figured.
So he's from Sourcecast Gaming, or Source Gaming, or whatever it's
something
called.
like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god! At least be
which,
nice
which one
to
of
the
us
fella.
are drunk?
See, that's the nice thing. It's like fucking 10 p.m. in
I think it's closer to 11, isn't it?
It's 11:30.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 in glorious Nippon, which means he gets to drink,
Yeah.
and I have to like sit here with breakfast.
And I'm just here, like, slowly hitting that phase where I'm getting tired and phasing out. And, oh,
God damn it.
It's, I hate falling asleep in the morning, because the sunlight still shines through the curtains, and that just makes it difficult to sleep.
You gotta
That's
get
why
better
you have to
curtains.
have a bunk bed that you've never used that just shuns out all the light.
No,
Get
we're not
better
doing
curtains.
that.
Better curtains.
I've slept in bunk beds. I have been trying to get better curtains, though. I will say this, to the point where I've looked up curtains so like thick.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna mention it, but I've looked up ones so thick they blot out the sun, and I'm like, I need those in my life.
But you're also not supposed to do that because it can actually like fuck up your eyes if you just leave your room dark like 24/7. There was a few days where I wasn't feeling too good, and I just like I have these like industrial sheets of plastic, and I put them up on my windows, and then I just had like my projector running for like 3 days, which is, oh, that's so cool. As I said, it sucks for your eyes, but hey, you get like a big projected image on a wall for like, you know, an extended period of time.
Colin's always spending money frivolously, as people tell me not to spend my apples.
I don't buy 2 Switches, Brian. Let's
Listen.
be real here.
Wait, why do you have 2
Listen.
switches?
I don't. This is a story that will remain untold.
Has Nintendo released any new stats on
It's
whether
like
or not?
it's like half and half last time they said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last time they did it was like a perfect 50-50 split.
I'm actually more of a handheld.
What's even better is that afterwards they were like, do you use one or the other or both? And it was also a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good...
Yeah.
They knew what the fuck to do.
The Switch is this podcast is we're all Nintendo boys, and this podcast has been the last 10 episodes has been like the Nintendo fanboy podcast.
Colin's like a real Nintendo fanboy. I'm like...
I
also like to give love to Xbox lately, because they've been consumer friendly as shit as of late.
I'm a Nintendo fanboy.
Oh, I know you're a fucking Nintendo fanboy.
I
I
would
go to
say-
Source Gaming, all I see is Nintendo.
That's because every time
you
we
know,
try to do non-Nintendo shit, like no one looks at it.
here's how deep, like, in the grime Source Gaming is as Nintendo
in the
fan.
grime. Holy
They-
shit.
They're like, I went there once, and I saw outdated memes.
Once.
I saw outdated memes from like 4 years ago that weren't relevant at all, and they were
To
just...
be fair,
Straight from the source.
you go to their Discord and they have 3 channels devoted to Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's true. Let's see, Fire Emblem, Smash, and then just
And
straight up
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
You gotta
Yeah.
separate them.
It's oof. Like, no knock against Source Gaming. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I see old memes and I feel like I'm on 9gag.
All the knocks against Source Gaming. I don't go there at all.
I'm in the
just like-
trenches fighting to get out.
I just like to shitpost in the Discord.
No, it's fun to shitpost in Source Gaming.
See, like, the one guy who really likes Melee being like, you don't understand, you never had a love for video games.
I was talking to someone about Melee earlier, and they were like, yeah, everything after Melee is like garbage. And I was just like, oh no.
I always love that there's, like, the one Melee player who thinks he's, like, who thinks because he follows Melee, he's, like, also one of the great competitor, like, folks, and you're like, no, dude, you're, like, 12, who cares?
And then he's like, I can wave dash with Fox, just fine.
I know where a final destination is.
he says, let me wave dash. He does, like, that side B. Oh my god.
Oh, Dustin, did you get me my Bickle?
No.
Fuck. God damn it.
That's like a 2-kilometer walk.
Shit.
That's not great.
You gotta translate that into, like, American terms, cause...
Isn't, like, 1.6 kilometers like a mile?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that.
Oh, wait, 1 kilometer is... Wait, let me actually reverse this.
That.
Yeah, it's 1.6 kilometers is a mile.
I was talking to a German boy the other day, and I was talking about how, like, oh, you know, you just, like, go to the store and you get, like, a gallon of orange juice or something, and he's like, a gallon? Like, what's that in, like, in German speak, and the rest of the world speak? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's 3.8 liters. And he's like, holy shit, why do you need that much orange juice?
You don't understand!
He was like, how do you even carry that? And I'm like, there's a handle on the bottom.
Oh, man, like, you should tell him that you can get, like, 1 liter from the gas station in America.
Yeah, like, it didn't occur to me that, like, the concept of, like, a gallon is just so goddamn much.
Yeah.
It's a very weird concept, especially when you see it in, like, soda spread across the... Isn't America, like, the actual #1 place that drinks soda?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we make all of it.
Like, a little bit different, but I remember going back to America, like, 2 years ago, and I had, like, severe reverse culture shock when I went into the supermarket and, like, saw that you could buy 36 eggs. Like, I was just like, who the fuck buys 36 eggs?
You don't understand. It's a system that works in America. 36 eggs is perfectly logical.
And it was so cheap.
You don't understand. We love big box stores. That's why Walmart's like the juggernaut it is. That's why Sam's Club exists.
But then I was just like, everyone's fat in America.
Yeah,
So
trust
fat.
me. Colin and I know this pretty damn well.
I mean, the idea is that we love buying in bulk because it, like, lasts longer.
Yeah.
We have more stuff, so we don't have to make a trip to the supermarket every other, like, week.
Because we're lazy as fuck.
Yeah, because we're lazy. But also, also due to the fact that there's certain areas in the country that just are barren and there's nothing around. But the problem is buying things in bulk just opens up the opportunity to eat it more.
Yeah, consume it faster.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to see it taken to like an even bigger extreme, have you ever been to Sam's Club?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been to Costco. I've been to Sam's Club.
Yeah, you know how they, instead of buying like a giant bag of like Cookie Crisps, you can buy like an entire box that is as wide as your arm spread across in height, width, length, and it's like $2.
Yeah.
You can buy so much shit at, like, Costco or Sam's Club in bulk that you can basically open up your own supermarket with, like, the one item you purchase.
You can feed like a remote village for a week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I lived in Japan, I'd have, like, an eating problem more than in America because, like, the thing, when I was over there, my thing was just like, hey guys, I'm a little thirsty. I'm gonna walk outside and buy a soda and then walk back inside.
Yeah, all the vending machines.
Yeah, like, oh man, those were killer.
Yeah, and
they're also fucking everywhere.
the convenience stores are everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Because you can also get, like, full good-ass meals at the Lawsons and stuff, yeah.
All I know about Japan is what Yakuza's taught me and what Colin's told me, and big bulk stores just seem like non-existent for the most part.
No, I mean...
Oh, I should add a little, addendum to something because a few Poodcasts ago, which means like half a year ago.
Oh my god.
We did an episode where I talked about my trip to Japan, and did I talk about Whore Alley?
Yes, you did. I literally followed it up with Colin. You should have took me. I would have been your man in the corner.
So Dustin, you've heard this story, right?
Maybe, like, was it during the Sourcecast?
I'll reiterate it. It probably would have been on that live stream where we played Fast Remix.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll just reiterate it. Basically, on the first day of arriving to Japan was killer for me because I had not slept in 2.5 days. Because on Saturday I got on my plane, I didn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
At the airport or on the plane. We arrived in mainland China for a layover for 14 hours. Didn't sleep at all during that. And then there was another 3.5 hour trip to Japan. Didn't sleep on that. And then I spent the whole day Monday in Japan, and I didn't sleep. So around 9-10 o'clock, specifically 9 o'clock, I was getting I looked dead.
Yeah.
And it was getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, I should sleep. But the thing is that, and everyone agreed, but they were also like, we don't want to take the 30 minutes to go on the the train and back to the Airbnb. So even though they didn't want me to go by myself, they were like, you should go by yourself. And I'm like, thanks, friends. Such great guys. Anyway, but so what happened was I booted up Google Maps. And I told them to take me to the latest, the nearest train station to take me back to the Airbnb. And they had me take this really weird route. I was in Shinjuku, but what's interesting is that it didn't take me to the Shinjuku train station. It took me to the train station that was like one town over.
Okay.
And this is not me not following directions. This was like Google Maps approved the way to go. They took me down a seedy ass alleyway that was full of totally prostitutes. I'm not trying to make any judgment on anyone's character. They really were. Totally. And so I made the joke of calling it Whore Alley. And it was funny. It is funny. I sent texts to a bunch of people I knew, and they were like, "Did you get lost?" And I'm like, "No, this is what Google Maps told me to do." So 7 months later, I had a friend who went to Japan, and then like 2 months after that, I was like, "Oh yeah, we never like traded Japan trip stories," and I was telling him about Whore Alley, and he's like, wait a minute. And then he asked me the street name, and I told him what it was, and he's like, oh yeah, my Airbnb was the next block over.
Oh.
And I was like, what a fucking small world. But also, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
he also went to that same stupid maid cafe I went to.
I haven't been...
The one with the angry cat ears photo of me that everyone loves.
I remember you telling me the story of your weird boss or employer like maid cafe.
With the fuck me
eyes. the office secretary cafe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still open. I still have the business card in my wallet though.
Oh my god.
Why not? It's a
good business card to have.
Now you're reminding me of when I went to what was the Alamo Draft House, and like I didn't get to watch my movie.
Oh, you didn't get to see The Shape of Water?
Yeah. Push.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of like a theater denying you access to a movie that you're late to?
No.
I went to the Alamo Draft House like in December, I think, to go watch The Shape of Water.
Okay.
And I got there 20 minutes late because of bad traffic. Wait, was it 20 minutes or was it 15? Either way, I had like barely missed it. Like commercials were still playing, trailers.
Yeah.
And I get there and I'm like, I'm here to pick up my ticket because I had already like bought the ticket online. So I'm like, I'm here to get the ticket. And they're like, what for what? And I'm like, The Shape of Water. And they're like, you know that movie already started, right? And I'm like, yes, I know. I just want to watch the movie. And they're like, we can't let you in.
What?
I
bought it,
never. Yeah, I bought the ticket, but they're like, you can't go into that movie. They're like, once a movie starts, you just can't go in. And they're like, we'll refund you. And I'm like, I bought it with like PayPal. And they're like, we'll give you this free card that says 1 free movie. And I still have it sitting there. And I'm like, every time I see it, I'm just like, fuck the Alamo Draft House. I've never been to a thing. Okay. You remember how like when Pixar's Coco came out, like there was this huge kerfuffle that there was a 20-minute Olaf short for like the movie Frozen, and people were actually trying to figure out how late they could go to the movie without, like, to catch the very end of the Olaf special and watch the very beginning of Coco.
Yeah.
You would have to get there 40 minutes late. I've never heard of a theater that just, like, denies you entry for just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alamo Drafthouse is like... I like them, but they're also super fucking pretentious.
That's what the guys who were at the counter basically look like hipsters.
They, I mean, it makes sense. They're friends with, like, fucking Ain't It Cool News and stuff. But, they... Like, I think the reason why they don't have the no late thing is because they don't want you to be, like, in the theater while, like, trailers are playing, and they still have to, like, explain to you how the theater works. Or because there's this whole, like, complicated card system where you gotta write down your order from a menu and then stick it into the thing in front of you.
Oh my god, why don't they just do, like, a digital pad? Like, Chili's has this figured out. They just put, like, a digital pad right at your seat that lets you play mini games or, like, order dessert. Just do that and build it into your chair.
I mean, what Alamo Drafthouse does is kind of smart because the whole idea is that none of the stuff they have creates light.
So it doesn't disturb.
There's like a tiny little LED under the table so you can look at the menu and look at what you're writing.
I figured...
Yeah.
If you're going in late to the movie, can't they just have a guy that is like, do you want to order any? Do you know how this thing works? And if it's just like, yeah, I do. Or it's like, no, can you explain it to me? They're like, do you want to know? No. To go watch your movie.
I think there should be like a 5-10 minute threshold. I don't like the fact that there's like, after this point, you're not coming in. It's like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I feel like there should be a threshold. Like 20 minutes, like, yeah, okay, once the trailers end, have that be the threshold.
So this movie theater doesn't actually have, like, stadium-style seating? It's just, like, restaurant?
It's assigned seating. It has regular seats, but like each seat also there's like 2 seats, and then there'll be like a table conjoining the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is stadium styled, but it's like all the seats are like paired together.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just I really don't want to watch The Shape of Water. I had to end up watching it through other means.
Yeah, you had to go find a...
And to be fair, it was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's my favorite of the year. I hope it fucking sweeps at the Oscars.
I'm just still like really upset that I drove out 2 hours to see this movie and got told, go the fuck home.
Get away.
Yeah, I'm still upset. What am I gonna do about it?
The last time I went to the Alamo Drafthouse, I saw The Shape of Water and The Disaster Artist, and it was fine. I had a sandwich. It was alright.
They asked me if I wanted to see another movie, and I told you, right? Like, I saw The Disaster Artist, and I'm like, I don't even want to be here anymore. I was like so done. Like, have you ever been so defeated that you just give up at all? Like, they could be like, we'll give you, where they're like, we'll give you $1 million if you stay, and you're just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah. I did something similar recently where
oh sweet, you gave up $1 million?
Yeah, I on a whim I took a small trip to New York City because Video Games New York is a store that always breaks street date.
Oh.
Like all the fucking time, which Brian and I discovered recently is actually perfectly legal, and there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Unless, like, you have a signed contract with the product manufacturer.
Street dates are basically a verbal agreement. So, basically, whenever this store gets in new games, they just immediately sell them whenever they get it. So they got the Switch version of Payday 2 a week and a half early. So I went in on Thursday. It's Payday 2 just came out yesterday as of recording this, but I got it like the Thursday before. And I don't even know if they would still have it in stock. I just like jumped on the train. I was like, I hope they have it. I hope I'm not like taking an hour-long train ride just for nothing. Yeah, no. So that was my trip. I went to New York City and I got Switch for the Switch version of Payday 2, and I also got some ramen noodles. So
Oh yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, New York
Yeah,
has
you said,
some good Japanese food.
New York has good food. In
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
I've heard it's as good as, like, the noodles you'll get in New York is just as good as
Yeah.
any you'll get in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. The reason being is because New York is like the fucking melting pot.
They actually have the supplies to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like not only do they have all the supplies, but like every immigrant that could ever be in the U.S. is also in New York City.
I don't like the way you said the word city. No, Colin, you know your favorite movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2?
Yeah, Ralph Breaks the Internet.
I have someone posting on my feed about it, saying the
Why?
concept in general doesn't seem like it will age well because of things like eBay and tablets having limited relevance and lifespan.
Wait, hold up. So, tablets? eBay?
I don't know
eBay's
about
been around
eBay.
for 10 years.
Yeah, eBay's been around for fucking ever. There's a fucking 2002 Weird Al song about eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's an Austin Powers joke about eBay.
I don't know about the tablet. I think tablets. Well, I mean, they'll obviously change their actual physical form factor, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually going to just disappear. It's not. eBay's not going to be like MySpace. I think eBay will pretty much just
No,
be around
eBay's not
forever.
gonna go away because it's like the biggest like
It's like
used-
Amazon.
Yeah. Well, no, because the thing about eBay is that like Amazon's great if you want new stuff. eBay is good if you want literally everything else,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is like how it's thrived. It started as like a weird online, it was basically like a precursor to Craigslist at first, but now it's like you can buy literally anything on here.
Yeah.
Just looking at my watch list, for example, I have like a focal reducer for a camera, an RGB cable, a graphics card, the Xperia Play, an EverDrive, like tank for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Like the amount of stuff that's just like there is massive and covers all sorts of corners of the globe.
Oh god, I'm looking at my eBay watch list. I have Panzer Dragoon, like for the Sega Saturn on here like 5 times.
Ooh.
I apparently I really wanted it at one point.
In fact, speaking of shit I bought on eBay, I was telling you this about. I was telling about. It's too early in the morning. I was telling Brian about this. There's these little LCD screens you can buy for cars. The idea being that you hook it up in your car with like the little suction cup attachment. It powers off of a USB cable. And the idea is like you sync your phone up to it so that it'll like put your Google Maps or whatever on the screen. These things are about $20. But the thing that's interesting about these is that the way they work is that they're just straight up a small HD TV with like a Miracast dongle plugged into an internal HDMI port. So realistically, you can open the thing up, unplug the Miracast, and now you just have a small little HD TV that has a low resolution, of course, but still. And you can just plug whatever into it.
Yeah.
So I made it a little hobby to crack one of these things open, unplug the Miracast, put in an extension HDMI cable, and then reroute it out the back of the case. And Brian knows where I'm going with this.
I do. I regret every
I
moment.
made the world's first truly portable Wii U.
Huh.
And let me post an image of this thing, and then Brian, I guess, can edit it into the video feed.
Being on screen, this fabulous portable Wii U can be yours for just
$20.
$20 off
And
AliExpress.
a bit of ingenuity.
A bit of German ingenuity. imported to your local
There it is.
New
Oh, yeah.
Yorker.
So the way I have it working is that it's running off of USB power from the back of the console. I have it plugged in through HDMI, and then I just use the suction cup to attach it to the top of the console.
But it's also like, Colin, why the fuck did you bother? This is so redundant. I remember telling you, okay, so I pitched this idea to Colin that what he should do is use this setup on a Nintendo 3DS that has been modded to display through your computer. And I don't... Oh, he wanted to do it with a Vita TV, too.
Yeah! That would be the best one! I'd be like, now I can finally play Persona 4 Golden on a portable. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what have you boys been playing lately? What's been on the video game docket? Dustin, you go first.
I've been playing Mario Odyssey, the balloon mode, the balloon world.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It's going all right so far.
Oh my god.
I'm glad to hear.
Luigi, I love the sounds that Luigi makes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
okay.
They should have re-included the "Oh my God" from Mario Party. Oh, that's why they're talking about Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph Breaks the Internet. A teaser trailer was released.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this and hate it.
Yeah, can you tell that this Pood's gonna go up like a week after we recorded it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, today is the 28th, literally the end of February. Rest in peace, Demon Souls servers.
You know what's funny? A year ago today, Nintendo is like, Pocket Rumble comes out for the Nintendo Switch
And
this
you've been
March.
waiting a year.
It's been a fucking year since they said that.
And like the developers just like doing nothing. They've just said,
Yeah,
we're
they-
determined to offer the best experience on the Nintendo Switch.
Well, that's what the Chucklefish said. The actual dev just like sets a bunch of random shit on Twitter and is like, we'll get it done eventually, maybe. And it's like, okay. So I heard the big problem with Luigi's balloon mode,
Yeah.
Luigi's balloon fight, is that people are putting the balloons out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like, are they actually doing any kind of, like, unnecessary nonsense to get it out of bounds? Or is it, like,
Yeah.
they're just bing wahooing real good?
I mean, they're using glitches to get out of bounds.
Oh, okay. So it is total bullshit.
Yeah.
They patched it, right?
No, I mean, like, they did patch all the glitches.
Anything else? Just Luigi's balloon mode?
I'm playing a Japanese game, but I forgot the name of it. Hold on. It's made by this company called Happy Meal, and
Okay.
it's called Karuteku Fighters. It's basically, I'll send you a trailer. It's like what's it called? It's like one of those old style games where you have a ship and you just shoot up things.
Oh, nice. There was,
Where's this podcast?
is it on the Switch?
Yeah.
Or is it 4-player?
Yeah, it's up to 4 players.
Oh, I saw this on the eShop the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Kilgeki.
this looks pretty fucking dope, actually.
Yeah, I only played a couple rounds of it so far because I've been busy with work, but it's been pretty fun.
As a boy who doesn't know Japanese and also has friends who couldn't give a care, is this like fine?
Yeah, you don't need that much Japanese to play this game.
Thank God.
There's no story, obviously. It's just like
A
shoot
shmup
things.
with a story is like really fucking weird.
I kind of figured as much, but I still wanted to double check because I didn't want to because there's upgrade screens, right?
I mean, you get upgrades to like the power ups, from what I understand.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
played that much, but from what I understand, it's like you just find the power ups after you either shoot up all the enemies in a wave or you shoot up a special enemy.
Oh, so it's in like typical.
Yeah.
Like okay. I forgot that I had like the Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet teaser trailer on play, like on the half of my screen muted, and an IMDb logo just showed up, like in the background. Brian,
What?
what have you been playing?
I've been playing... Actually, I played Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. Hated it. I played Monster Hunter World. Loved it. Too easy compared to older titles, but whatever. It's still pretty fucking good. I like it. I've also been playing Bayonetta 1 and 2 again, of course. I bought that Birdie shoot 'em up on the Switch, because they just reposted that.
Gunbird?
Gunbird! Is that what it was called? The one
Yeah.
with, like, the blonde, pigtailed anime girl in blue?
Yeah, Gunbird.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. I still haven't bought Ace of Seafood yet, Colin, but I know you want to play this game, and I know it has online multi.
It looks fucking wild. I can't wait.
The part where the crab pulls out, like, laser beams really threw me, like, for a loop.
Dustin, have you seen that shit? Have you seen Ace of Seafood?
No, I haven't.
Oh, take out your Nintendo Switch right now. Vote now on your phones. And go on the eShop and look at this garbage. It's wacky.
It's amazing. Like, I thought it was... I was kind of looking at it first, so I'm like, what is this shit? Colin was like, Brian, you gotta see this game. It's amazing. I don't get it.
I absolutely love the Switch not even the Japanese eShop, just the Switch eShop in general. Because the Switch has gotten to the point where it's still very much so in that, like, niche, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Even though I think by now it's outsold. I mean, it definitely outsold the Wii U. We already know that, but it's probably outsold the Vita by now. So you still have all these. It's definitely past like 16 million now. It has to be.
It was the best-selling console last month.
It sold nearly 15 million at the end of December, and the last two times I looked at VG charts, they were selling like 220K a week.
Yeah, and like also it's also selling in like South Korea and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the eShop is just filled with like all of these weird looking niche indie games, which I'm so down. I'm so down because half of them look like really fun jank, and the rest of them are also like genuinely interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, as a last little add-on to what I have been playing lately, Colin.
Yeah.
You know what I've been doing. Oh, because the server shut down today. I was playing with Mike yesterday. We were playing Demon Souls. And I recently finished my level 1 runs of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Colin, I think I might be doing a level 1 run of Demon Souls soon.
Oh my god.
What?
You are a madman.
Let's put it like this. Oh my god. Playing through Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 at level 1 really made me appreciate the depth of the game's combat system that it just poorly conveys and never show you. It is so poorly conveyed that people think of Kingdom Hearts as a button masher because it never gives you enough incentive to explore the deeper complexities of its combat. It's a real shame, and I will be doing that Demon Souls level 1 run eventually.
I mean, I know that the fact that the majority of people that play Kingdom Hearts is it's for like watching the
Who else will I ice cream
as
with?
we called it, Disney presents gay porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the intro the intro to like the intro to Kingdom Hearts 1 is still like the most homoerotic thing I've seen in the video game, and I've played the Cho and Nikki games.
Riku really wanted to get Sora wet, if you catch my meaning. And he was drowning in it by the end of that intro.
Doesn't help that there's like the fucking hard like 90s synth playing.
Can you tell this was a remix of a song made like in 2000?
No.
You don't say. Yeah, I thought it was just a rude sandstorm the whole time. But yeah, it's a real shame. And who can forget such great lines like, "Who else will I eat ice cream with?" And "I'm already half Xehanort." Kingdom Hearts is a treasure trove of... I'll be honest, like at times Kingdom Hearts is the most convoluted shit I've ever played. And at other times it's like...
Oh, I know.
And at other... Yeah, Colin heard me explaining the relationship between Sora and why half the cast is Sora to our friend yesterday for about an hour and a half.
One of the folks in my Discord server has made a really good joke that listening to Brian talk about Kingdom Hearts is like that one bit in Rick and Morty where the Gearhead talks about the Gear Wars.
Oh.
Like, it is so hard to explain this convoluted plot in less than 3 hours. Like, let's put it like this.
Like I remember playing Dream Drop Distance in Japanese, and I was like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. So I looked up the cliff notes like in English, and I was like, I still don't understand what the fuck is going on.
There's a great quote in Kingdom Hearts 1 played by everyone's favorite, where Ansem is played by everyone's favorite Twin Peaks character. What's his name again? Like Billy Zane?
Billy Zane.
Yeah, the guy from like, he's also in Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone says, he gives like the best line for summing up Kingdom Hearts, where he's like, "You've come this far and still you understand nothing." And it's just like, that's the perfect way of it. Here's the thing though. To new people, that is the perfect summary of Kingdom Hearts. To me and Caleb, who were listening to me talk yesterday about Kingdom Hearts and explaining it to people, we both were like, no, this makes perfect sense to us. Because we've played the damn things to hell and back. We understand that Xigbar is half Xehanort, and why half Xehanort also means you're half Terra. We understand, because it's just... I feel like Kingdom Hearts is the epitome of what video games should really be about. Dumb stories with great gameplay, and how a dumb story can still be fun as long as the gameplay's good. And because we also really want to know how all 10 of these games meet up in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's gonna be so good! It's gonna be the worst story I've ever seen! And I'm gonna love it!
I just want to be there
to hear Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, Mike Wazowski and Buzz Lightyear talking Japanese, and for the inevitable announcement of the Bug's Life world, which
we don't know for sure. Like, nothing's been confirmed about a Bug's Life world, but it's rumored.
Yeah, but I can't wait.
Let me see. What worlds do we have confirmed? We have Hollow Bastion, we have Olympus Coliseum, we have Tangled, we have
Big
Monsters
Hero
Inc.
6.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
We have, what's the other one? Big Hero 6. We also have Toy Story. We have Monsters Inc., Tangled, Olympus Coliseum. I feel like I'm forgetting something. The World That Never Was is probably going to be in there. Hollow Bastion might make a reappearance.
100 Acre Woods.
Oh my god.
Ariel.
100 Acre Woods. It's going to be in there.
Under the Sea is confirmed.
No, Under the Sea's not confirmed. We've seen Ariel as a summon, but that doesn't mean it's confirmed.
Wasn't something like Giant Land announced?
That's right.
Giant Land. I don't know.
It's gonna be based off of like old Mickey shorts, like
I think
Jack and the Beanstalk.
There might be that. I don't know.
And it's supposed to be like I was hearing. I don't follow. I don't keep up with Kingdom Hearts news. Okay, I'm straight. But there was something about how at D23 Japan they announced like a giant world that was to be like inspired by not only old Mickey shorts but also like the old Game & Watch games.
I've not heard this.
I remember Mystic Distance translated it.
I do know that there was someone saying that Nomura has been planning to put something in there since like the original Kingdom Hearts. Like he's finally doing it, or since when he was working on Final Fantasy. It could be that. It could be that you're thinking of something that has nothing to actually do with it and correlating it with Kingdom Hearts, but...
Mickey's Giant Land is in Kingdom Hearts 3 in some way. This is from IGN.
Okay. Okay, well that's...
So yeah, there's that. It's...
Yeah, okay, that... Good. We know it's not, like, just you thinking the wrong thing.
It's not me having, like, a stroke on the internet. It's something that, like, legitimately exists.
Yeah, yeah. I always find it very weird when, like, you'll see other games with, like, something like a Donkey Kong Arcade Edition minigame in there. Like, remember in Fallout 4 how there was basically Donkey Kong Arcade on your Pip-Boy?
Yeah.
I always think that's really weird to me.
I think it's weird, but it's also cute.
It is,
I'm, like,
but...
totally okay with it.
No, yeah. It's just very weird to me personally.
Did you see Spies in the Night?
Spies in the Night?
I don't know, I've probably, like, gushed to you about this before, but, like, there actually is, like, an ongoing, community for making brand new Atari games.
Oh.
And one of them is called Spies in the Night, and it looks like an Atari game, but it's, like, it's cool that people are making new ones that you can buy on a cartridge and plug into your old 2600, and it actually looks, like, pretty neato. For as far as, like, you know, 2600 games are. It looks neato. I like these little, like, throwback to old videos.
No, I think I always think it's a cool idea when you go back to an older system and intentionally limit yourself.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah, because you can come up with some pretty cool, like the Morph Ball in Metroid. Everyone knows that wouldn't have happened on stronger hardware because it was simply because Samus couldn't crawl. That was literally it.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Yeah. I figured you would correlate the two.
Yeah, of course.
But no, I've always thought about it. I'm like, I really wish I could do that. Shovel Knight had a few exceptions. I believe they added 1 or 2 extra colors that couldn't actually be displayed on the NES. And the music that they made wasn't using the Famicom's limited music. It was using the Castlevania 3 audio chip. So it was still technically like Famicom levels.
But it was
of music.
enhanced.
Yeah.
I kind of went on like a short tangent about something like that, where I was talking about how like older games will always look better than newer games that try to look old, because like older games were trying their darndest to make the thing that they're like, to make the graphics look like what they were trying to portray, while newer games are just like, oh, it was old, just make them blocky and like rough approximations of the thing we're trying to recreate. Which is why you have, it's why you have like games like Terminator Future Shock look better than something like a Strafe. Even though technically Terminator Future Shock is older than a type of game that Strafe is trying to emulate. So speaking of video games that we've been playing, now it's my turn.
Shut up, Colin! No one cares! You said payday too! That's all you had to say!
No, I actually have a couple other things. There was an update for Doom on the Switch, so I've been playing that again, and the update is fine.
It just increases the base resolution in a lot of areas for the most part.
Yeah, they increased the resolution sometimes. The frame rate is better sometimes.
Motion
and
controls.
now there's motion aiming, which I have off anyway. So it's fine. It's totally okay. It whatever.
Colin.
Yeah.
The person who was telling me that they think Melee's still the best was saying, I hate Doom on the Switch.
They need to stop.
They said they can't stand it because of the slow frame rate.
Yeah, but
to
just
be fair,
get used
like,
to it.
oh my god, the word like, going from 60 to 30 can hurt a lot.
I mean, I'm going from fucking 144 to 30, and even I can still adapt to it.
I still
Maybe I just have like a higher tolerance for this shit, but like it it controls well enough that it doesn't feel that bad. Just like turn up the motion blur and your eyes can't even tell.
I'm still very eager to play my first video game at 144 FPS.
It's a grand old time. Highly recommend.
I just need a monitor. Good. Well, so I've recently got like a display tablet compute. Basic kind of think like a Cintiq, right? The monitor is also the tablet. This is about a 22-inch display tablet, and I love it, but it ain't going above 60 FPS. I had to choose, what do I want, better frame rates or actually being able to do my job? There you go.
Dumb. But when it comes to like new releases or games that I haven't played a million times before, Payday 2 for the Switch came out, and I'm going to talk briefly about that because it's been getting a lot of shit lately. The week leading up to its release, it got a lot of shit because in true Overkill fashion, it's missing stuff. Overkill is like the only company that actually manages to just release versions of their game with like years of content missing. I don't know why. They just do it. Yeah, so it's missing like a year of stuff, which it sucks, not just because of the content that's missing, but also because there's a few quality of life improvements that were added into Payday 2 on PC that are gone. Not that I thought that Payday 2 for the Switch would be totally up to date, but at least would be as far as, like, 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's like a year out of date, maybe more. And, that's not great. That's not fantastic. And it's caused a lot of people to cancel their pre-orders, which is understandable. It sucks that they're doing this. It really does. However, I was planning on picking it up out of curiosities, like, anyway. And, otherwise, outside of the content, Payday 2 for the Switch is an absolutely fantastic port. It looks great. It runs great. The frame rate's rock solid. It's 30 FPS, but I mean, that's how it is on all the other consoles, so you gotta pick and choose your battles there. 720p portable, 1080p docked. It's great. It plays really good. And there's also local wireless, which I'd love to try, but I also need people to buy the game first, which is a hard sell. And it's also got touchscreen support in the menus, which is really nice. It's because Payday 2 has really intricate menus, so just being able to, like, tap the screen instead of using analog sticks is really handy. So, yeah. And I know there's going to be some people out there who's like, I've never played Payday 2, so the missing content thing is not that big of a bummer. And it's like, yeah, but it's still the principle of it that sucks.
Yeah.
Like Rocket League would never release their game a year out of date on a new new platform.
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft is usually pretty good about it.
I think Minecraft was slightly out of date, wasn't it?
It still kind of is, because it doesn't have the Better Together or whatever it's called update, but it also still has all of the newer quality of life improvements.
Yeah.
Like, they're still updating it, they just haven't included the cross-platform play yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. I'm okay with, like, a game being out of date with the promise of new content. It's when Overkill does this fucking thing where they release the game with missing stuff, and they go, oh, maybe we'll update it.
It's better than
nothing. And then they gave you a new character anyway.
Yeah, they gave us a new character anyway, so it's like, what happened? What was the problem? I'm not in game development, but I seriously doubt that it probably would have been so much effort to port a newer executable of the game to the Switch when they already had, like, the majority of the porting work done.
I think, doesn't the Switch not support Unreal Engine 3? Unreal Engine 4?
The Switch supports Unreal Engine 4.
Okay.
Yeah. It supports 4, not 3. Doesn't matter. Payday 2 runs at its own jank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. 4 is
thought it was
really
like,
flexible.
I thought it was a similar situation to Rocket League, where they had to like basically recreate the game.
Or A Hat in Time.
Yeah.
I'm...
AKA the game that isn't actually coming to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people. I'm genuinely salty that we're not getting A Hat in Time on the Switch. Granted, don't pester the developers about this.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, yeah, it's like 10% their fault, but it's you know, they made the game on an engine that the console that was released 5 years into them developing this game doesn't support, because Epic hasn't released the SDK for it and probably won't. So and they're a very small team, and they're not like Rocket League. I don't think they have the money to hire like Panic Button to do the work for them. Mm-hmm. And even then, it would take forever to do so. But that being said, there's been a lot of talk about like port begging on the Switch, because it's rampant. It's rampant as fuck. Every time a new game is announced for like PS4 or Xbox or even PC, there's always that one guy being like, well, what about the Switch version?
Posting that fucking Mario Odyssey image all the goddamn time. I actually haven't seen that lately, to be honest.
And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there, well, there are plenty of people out there who are kind of sick of hearing it and are just kind of going like, look, not every game has to be on the Switch. And I know how earlier we kind of mentioned how, you know, I'm kind of a Switch fanboy because I fucking love the thing. But just generally, as a principle, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, because
it depends on the developer, to be honest.
There's not really much of a reason why these games shouldn't. I understand if it's like a big AAA game like Assassin's Creed Origins that would probably need a lot of reworking to work on the Switch. But like, are you really gonna get mad for people wanting something as not like graphically
intense? Yeah,
intense as A Hat in Time, or wanting something like the DMC collection or Far Cry 3 Classic on the Switch.
Or Persona 5 Portable.
Or Burnout Paradise Remastered. Like, that's the thing that gets me, is that there are games coming out that more than likely should be on the console. There's no reason why they well, I mean, with Hat in Time there is a reason, but I'm like, you know, it's not like these games can't run on the thing.
It does depend on the developer. They should be able to,
no problem.
It depends on how big the developers are.
Yeah, like the fact that Ys 8 can come to the Switch is only because they have another company like partnering with them to port it.
Yeah.
And then that's also why you don't have the developer Atlas putting Catherine on the Switch. They're not actually that big. Like, despite how much of a success Persona 5 was, they're still like pretty niche for the most part. And that's why Shin Megami Tensei 5 also won't come to PS4. They kind of have to pick a console and stick to it for the most part. And it sucks.
Yeah, but they already have the dev kit.
Yeah, but I'm just like, it sucks because it's going both ways on this, but it is a costly venture to port to pretty much any console. And if it is the Switch, it's way more like intrusive. Like, I know people have been I've seen like a lot of people in Japan saying they really want Kingdom Hearts 3 to come to the Switch, and I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah,
I love Kingdom Hearts, but let's be real here. I'm pretty sure that game's gonna chug on an Xbox One.
Well, it's also because Square can't optimize for shit.
Oh, Square's terrible at optimize. It's amazing Dragon Quest Builders runs as well as it does on the Switch. By the way, pretty good version of Dragon Quest Builders. Please pick it up. And we're still waiting to hear what's going on with Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch.
Yeah.
Also Dragon Quest Heroes.
I mean, you did post an image about it just now. Well, not just now, but a while ago. It's a cluster truck.
Yeah, it requires money, time, and personnel, which a lot of companies don't have.
That's why Falcom Game is it Falcom Games? Who are the people who do Who are the people who do Ys 8 and like Trails in the Sky?
But as I was saying, when it comes to something like Ubisoft or Capcom, like, or EA, like, come on, like.
I mean, it's like
it does
those
depend on
companies,
development. Like
they still got people to pay.
And there's still a base system they had to make up. Like Monster Hunter World was not made with the Switch in mind because that thing was just. Capcom had a minor hand in developing the Switch, but I still don't think they had the entire specs for the thing until about a year.
Wasn't
release.
Monster Hunter World? Wasn't that like exclusive, like paid by Sony?
So the rumor is it's paid by Sony. The leak that did turn out to be true said it was paid by Sony. I think what the leak actually means to say is it is a console game that would be exclusive in Japan, and in the Western market, not Nintendo, Sony would pay for exclusive marketing rights, like they did with Destiny. I think that's really what they meant when they said it was paid by Sony. Because that makes way more sense in my opinion, because I don't really buy... There is like a little bit of credit. You could say the rumor is credible simply because the rumor that said Monster Hunter World is happening said Sony paid for it.
Yeah.
But, of course, we know that not every part of a rumor that turns out to be true is necessarily true in itself.
Yeah.
Things do change in development. Capcom knows that for sure in the West, the Xbox One sells. And so it's kind of dumb not to put Monster Hunter World on the Xbox.
Either way, I see the port begging for the Switch being, I think, just as justifiable as when a game is on PS4 and PC, but not on Xbox, or when a game is on PS4 and Xbox, but not on PC.
But I mean,
just like...
Would you get upset with people begging, like, Nintendo to port Mario Odyssey to the PS4?
Well, it's not about...
because that makes perfect sense. But when it's something like fucking like Nier Automata, which doesn't really have any like exclusivity, they're just really choosing not to port it to the Xbox One.
Even after Yoko Taro said, like, if it's sold well enough, we'll think about porting it to Xbox.
Like with for example, with Bayonetta, when they released it on the Nintendo Switch, like Kamiya said on his Twitter account that Nintendo paid for that port.
No, of course.
So I mean,
It
like,
makes perfect sense.
Even like if like Platinum Games wanted to port it, they still needed that money from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's perfectly fine. I get that. I'm just saying when it's something like, here's this game that's coming to every other platform, like on a multitude, different companies, it's just not coming to this one because...
I would say, like, if that's the case, like, one, like, the Switch is doing really well. I think with the number of consoles that are being sold, it will incentivize companies to port more to the Switch.
Oh, totally. The thing's gonna hit 20 million sales.
And so I think like companies
months.
will see that and see like, oh, there's a market for our game. Like even if we have to make severe adjustments to the game in order to make it run well, then
I think
the market's still there. Yeah,
I think third-party support on the Switch is gonna be very akin to the Wii. Where we're going to be seeing a lot of re-releases, and we're going to be seeing a lot of kind of lower versions of AAA games, but it might be a bit better because the power gap between something like the Switch and the Xbox One is not nearly as bad as like the power between the 360 and the Wii.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a gap, but it's not as severe.
Yeah, there's still a gap, but it's not the worst.
Like,
but still, as I was saying, like, when it comes to like Xbox 360 game re-releases, like, come on.
I think it's totally justifiable in some instances. Plus, a certain game on one platform might not necessarily be as popular as on the other. I think a good example is a lot of people give the Switch a lot of shit for being underpowered, but they forget that the PS2 was the best-selling console of all time, and it is the weakest console of its generation. When Resident Evil 4 got ported to the PS2, it looked terrible.
Yeah.
They did a lot to cut out on that game. I think they even removed normal mapping on Leon's coat. A lot of the foliage got removed. There was just a lot that got removed for the PS2 version, and that's like the version everyone pretty much played at that time until you got your HD and your Wii versions, which were all objectively better. Yeah. A lot of people still like. I still like the Wii version.
I've only played the GameCube.
I like the Wii version of RE4. It's like really well done.
Yeah, I really want to get the. I really want to get that Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller.
Oh yeah.
It looks so uncomfortable, and I want it. It's like those slime controllers for Dragon Quest for like the PS4. I've been contemplating getting one of those because it looks like the most. Who came up with this?
It's just like a gimmick.
It's a gimmick, but it's like, how can you not want to try that?
By the way, I saw those PS4 mini controllers. They're selling them at like Best Buy.
Yeah, I have one, and those controllers don't work with every game. It makes no sense. Like, I can play Kingdom Hearts with that controller. In fact, I had to for a while because my main PS4 controller died. And I tried to play Parappa 2 with it. I guess it just doesn't work on PS2 games for some reason. I pressed every button seeing what I could get. It just didn't... Maybe I should play Bloodborne with it.
Oh my god.
I wonder how that would turn out.
Maybe you should play Demon Souls through PS Now on it.
Oh my god, Colin! I should play Alone in the Dark on it. The most janky-ass game ever.
The other game I played this week, outside of Payday 2, was, oh boy, it's a little game that came out on Steam and has been kind of causing quite a stir for, I'd say, a year and a half now. And that game is called Hunt Down the Freeman.
Oh no.
Which is, so if you don't know what Hunt Down the Freeman is, it's a Half-Life 2 fan game that there was first a demo released of it like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, in 2016, and it was terrible. Everyone hated it. It was really cringy. It's really bad. The plot is like you're some guy. You were a Marine from the first Half-Life game who gets murked by Gordon Freeman, and you're just like, I gotta go hunt down Gordon Freeman during the events of Half-Life 2. It has a demo. It's terrible. There's like a video you can go watch of some guy ripping on it. It's hilarious.
But Colin,
yeah,
it's completely redeemed by the voice acting talents of Keemstar and.
Hang on, I'm getting to that. Fuck off, Brian. Jesus Christ. So then they tried to crowdfund it on Indiegogo and raised $12.
Yeah.
And then what happened was just suddenly, out of the blue, on Steam, they were like, this game's done. We're going to be releasing it on February 8th. And they released it along with a trailer that's very cringy. The Steam page has such great selling points as 40 levels, 14 hours of gameplay, cinematic cutscenes, a cinematic soundtrack, graphics, time for a new toaster. We've added higher resolution textures and high poly models, pushing source to the limit. I don't know how anyone could say that, considering Titanfall exists. So then it was supposed to come out February 8th. It was then delayed to the 15th. It was then delayed to the 21st. And then it was delayed to the 22nd. And then it was delayed to the 23rd. And then it finally released. During this time, the head developer had been saying absolutely crazy person things, like he was expecting the game to be a success to the point where Valve would actually license it to be on the PS4 and Xbox One. there was a lot of talk about whether or not the game was using stolen assets, because there's the mod had stuff borrowed from Insurgency and Black Mesa, and it seemed like the final game might have been using those same assets as well. And then it came out. A whole bunch of shit was missing from the final release, including the cutscenes. They were just not there in the game files. The game had to be updated to re-include the cutscenes. Also, the final levels were missing in the initial release build, so they had to update the game to include those. And even then, when you play the game, the script triggers for those final levels are broken, so when you reach the end of a level, the game will crash, and you have to actually open up the console and type in, you know, like map final level to load. The game's an absolute busted fucking mess. It's janky. It doesn't run well. Like, some levels run well, others don't. The writing is absolutely god-awful. The acting is absolutely god-awful. And as Brian was saying, features such YouTube stars as Rice Pirate, I Hate Everything, Keemstar, Pyro Cynical, Colossal is Crazy, Sky Williams. Their selling point of it being 14 hours is a fucking lie, because the game takes 5 hours to beat.
Tell them about the cheats you had to do.
Oh yeah, because the game is just straight up broken, you basically have to type in cheats for it to work. Since you have to load into levels that don't start you off with any weapons, you have to type in Impulse 101 to get a bunch of guns. The game is so fucking dark at times, you gotta type in the full bright that turns lighting basically up to max, so you can actually see what you're doing. No clip is something you're gonna want to rely on when the geometry breaks and you get stuck in it. And of course, there's parts of the game where elevators or some other thing just take so long, or the maps. There are some maps in this game that take under 30 seconds to get through.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why they're in the game. But then there's other levels where they're just stretched out, and they're these big barren areas of nothing that you just have to walk through to clearly pad out the game. And in moments like that, you turn up host timescale, and you just have the game speed up because it just takes forever to get through. I did a live stream where I played through the whole thing. I should have like a highlight reel coming up on my channel within the next like month. And it was just an absolute trash fire of a game.
I'm really excited to see in that highlight reel, like, ha, got him, escapes, oh no, dies.
Yeah.
that game.
There's
the ending of that game's obvious bait for nostalgia.
There's a scene in the game that's like, there's a cutscene that's clearly copied from MGS5.
I was about to tell you. Yeah.
Like, it's nearly a shot-for-shot remake of, like, Big Boss telling Mother Base soldiers, like, we have to go fight a world without borders.
A world without borders.
Yeah.
It's
I know, it's an army without borders.
Oh, okay.
I'm just memeing.
Okay. I'm just making sure it's the guy with Metal Gear lore. I have to make sure.
It's very clearly that they rushed this thing out the gate. There were streams by the game's developers that were even saying, like, yeah, this game should not have been released like this, or at least should have been released as an early access title. There is no way. Like, they talked about how the thing wasn't even being play tested at all, which is true, because there's straight up levels in this game that are broken. There's one part where I couldn't advance because there was an invisible wall in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And I had to walk around the invisible wall.
Oh, they do. It has terrible communication in its level design too. There's a vent Colin was trying to get through at one point. I saw this vent like clear as day, but Colin was so in the moment that he didn't notice, because there's enemies shooting at you in this scene, so it's understandable.
It's also put next to 2 other vents, and also again the level's like pitch black for most of the game.
And then there's a window you have to go through later on, and you just don't see it naturally unless you know to look for it. It's pretty bad.
There's a part where you're walking through City 17, because a lot of this game retreads moments in Half-Life 2. Yeah. Pretty poorly, by the way. They're all like super hardcore, like retconning bullshit. And there's a part where you're walking through City 17, and you're surrounded by all these buildings. And to actually advance through the game, you have to find a small open window among the sea of window textures of all these buildings around you. And it's not clear. Like, Half-Life has always been known for being super linear, and it's not like Hunt Down the Freeman is like any more open, but oh my god, like its level design is just so bad.
Yeah, it's awful.
It was a pain to get through.
You can tell how little they cared it sometimes, because the windows on most of the buildings are actually textures that wrap around the corner of the building itself.
Oh.
There's just straight up stuff that is broken, and like they so they actually had to get Valve's permission, of course, to make this thing and to sell it. They're not just like making a Half-Life game and selling it on Steam willy-nilly and then just like Valve doesn't know about it. It's using assets from Valve games, like from Half-Life 2 and Left 4 Dead. But like, it's so inconsistent. Like, one of the weapons you can pick up is a completely made from scratch, ground up remake of the pistol from Half-Life 2, and also the rifle from Half-Life 2. But there's a level where you're running around and there's characters using the SMG, and you're clearly not, like, if you type in Impulse 101, it doesn't come up. Like, you're not supposed to have this gun, but you can still pick it up, and the ammo counter is completely broken. And it's the same asset from Half-Life 2. They just left it in. They didn't, like, I don't want to say they didn't try, but when I'm reading these, like for example, they just released a new, like, update on the game 2 days ago, and they were like, after the game is released, people started to harass us even more and generate more lies about us, like, no one cares about our side of the story, and it's like, you didn't try.
Yeah.
You didn't try at all. This game's a broken fucking mess. This pushed us to release the game as soon as possible to prove our innocence. On the day of release, it was a big shock for all of us when we saw the game on streams and realizing it wasn't the games that we had on our end. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like we may have failed on file organization. How do you even bother submitting a game to Steam that's missing stuff? Like, how do you do that? I know we were just talking about Yakuza 6 accidentally uploading nearly the entire game to the store, but that's the full game. That's still the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
This is, and that was just for a demo. That's a case of them releasing more than what they wanted. This is a case of them finally selling a game they've been working on for 2 years, and it's missing so much shit. It's ludicrous. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't try to go for a refund. I definitely can't get a refund. My playtime's like 5.5 hours. So I don't think I could even try to get a refund. But I am willing to stick to the game because I want to see in 6 months what they do with it.
Yeah. See if they can fix it.
By the way, this game is $25.
Oh, 25? Really?
They have the audacity of selling it for $25. It's on sale, 15% off for $21.24. I paid it with stream donations. Thanks, y'all. But holy shit, the fact that they actually they fucking bothered to release this as it is for $25 is
bananas.
It is. It's disgusting. It's atrocious. It's one of the worst games I've played in a long ass time.
And you played Sonic Forces.
And I played Toho Kabuto 5 Burst Battle.
Oh my god!
And I played Rogue Warrior. What was it called? That's called Rogue
Shadow
Warrior, right?
Warrior.
No, Shadow Warrior is a different game. I'm talking about the one with Mickey Rourke. Yeah, it's Rogue Warrior.
Okay.
The one with Mickey Rourke playing the the army man who's like, "Fuck you, North Koreans! You're a piece of shit!" And he curses the whole game. It's really funny.
The worst thing that I saw from because I only watched Colin playing it.
Yeah.
I had to do other stuff though, so I didn't see it all. But from every cutscene I looked at, it looked like a terrible Source filmmaker thing. Actually.
Well, yeah, that's what they did. All the cutscenes are rendered in Source Filmmaker. So whenever you're playing a game, the game will just awkwardly kind of cut out, and then a Source Filmmaker video will play, and then it cuts back into the level for like half a second, so then it can go into the script trigger to load the next level.
Yeah, every Team Fortress 2 fan animation you've seen in like Gmod or Source Filmmaker, it basically looks like that. You know that
it looks worse though, because all of their assets look terrible.
And the normal mapping's weird. Like there's this guy who has the obviously you know when you furrow your brow, you see those lines on your head? Or, yeah. It looked like the normal mapping there was inverted. So when it's supposed to look like the furrowing is squishing it to make it bump up, it looks like it was going inside his own skull instead of the other way around, which is actually, I think I know why it is like that now that I think about it. I think he used I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Crazy Bump. I think they used a program called Crazy Bump for that, which would explain why every model in that game has the worst normal mapping I've ever seen. That is Crazy
It's also
Bump.
just super inconsistent, because half of the models are clearly like Half-Life 2 models. Like G-Man is clearly from Half-Life 2. The citizens in City 17 are clearly from Half-Life 2. I think the Combine are the same, just with higher resolution textures, which for some reason are like 200 megabytes. But then it's like they have these new soldier models that look absolutely terrible. They made new versions of the Half-Life weapons that look absolutely garbage.
I want to point out, when I started college, we had to make character models, and my first character model looked just about, probably a little bit better than the main character model in that game. Even my teacher told me, though, for the time, because this was before the PS4 was out, like, yeah, this is shippable, but it's not great.
Like, the main character, I just posted a screenshot, he looks like shit.
Yeah.
He looks like dog shit. It looks terrible.
Yeah. It's
even for a fan game, like, it looks just
He has
bad.
a lot of scars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he got murked by the Freeman.
Yeah.
That's why. Go catch him.
Yeah.
I will say though, if you're that type of guy who loves laughing at dumb garbage like I do, Hunt Down the Freeman's hilarious. Because it also tries really hard to be like super edgy at times, and it just falls on its face. There's a part. Yeah. No, go for it.
I just reviewed Brawl for the Nintendo Switch a couple weeks back ago.
Yeah.
It tried so hard to be edgy. It's awful.
There's a part when you're walking through City 17, like the opening of Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, your Hunt Down the Freeman character, Mitchell, is like looking at a citizen from Half-Life 2, and it's like, it's now your turn. And then you get to that part where in the original, in Half-Life 2, Barney comes out and is like, you citizen, come with me. But instead, the citizen walks to the Nova Prospect train, and then just a fucking explosion happens.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it's like not like, of course the situation is that the guy like suicide bombed City 17, but it's done so awkwardly because the character model just disappears and then a random explosion happens.
I found an old picture from when I was working on that model I told my teacher about.
Oh.
Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
It looks just about as good, I would say.
Yeah.
The worst part is, though, is that the demo for Hunt Down the Freeman is fucking hilarious. And none of that stuff is in the the final game, because according to one of the devs of the demo, who was actually on my Twitch stream chat when I was streaming it, was telling me that, like, due to some dumb legal recourse, because again they were reusing assets from other mods, they had to scrap everything from the demo, which is a shame, because there's like these two moments in the demo that are hilarious, including one where Mitchell is like punching a man in first person, and it looks something straight out of like the Battlefield campaigns, and he's like, "Where's the Freeman?" And then there's another part where an antlion is chasing him, and he closes a garage door like on the antlion's head, and the antlion's head just kind of flops off, and it's something else. I'd recommend watching any stream, including my own, of this game, because it's what a dumpster fire! What an absolute dumpster fire of a game. So, Dustin.
Yeah.
One of the more, because we haven't really talked about your work at all on this Pood.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I've been keeping up with, because I love it so much, is the absolute ass blasting you've been giving to
Marcus
Sellars.
Yeah, Liam's been going.
Oh man,
Liam's been going hard into. I saw the post earlier where he's like, Liam confirmed Xenosaga HD, and all he had was like some third party saying that's what Liam said.
Yeah, he had like a Spanish post or something like that.
It's
Spanish
still,
news site.
It's still baffling to me.
I love your like a story in four pictures.
Oh,
where he's like, there's a direct soon in January, and then in February it's like, it's coming next week. They have this stuff planned in advance, and then the last image is like, I don't know when the direct is, but South Park's gonna be there.
Yeah, he said in the third one is like, Nintendo never changes the day of the direct, and then the last one is, I've never said anything about a direct.
I think the thing is, how I generally feel about like the leakers and leaking culture and all that. I think it really shouldn't be as big of a deal as people make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that is just due to the fact of how, I mean, video game news in of itself is already like somewhat untrustworthy.
Mm.
Like, developers announce shit all the time that never ends up being the case anyway. I mean, not most of the time, but it happens a lot. You know, we see games announced and then canceled and all that. Yeah, so it's you know, there's definitely big name, you know, leakers out there. You have like your Liam Robertson, your Laura Kate Dale, and your Emily Rogers, and I mean, they're trustworthy. They get a lot of stuff right because they have sources that do give them correct information. I don't doubt that, but they also get a lot of shit wrong, like all the fucking time. And I think this Marcus Sellars situation is like the perfect example of why you really shouldn't go off of these guys who are like parading themselves as being these great industry insiders who know everything, because more often than not they're pretty fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and all it does is kind of waste our time.
Like, with leaks or rumors and stuff like that, probably the hardest part as someone who does a lot of research, talks to a lot of people, you get a lot of conflicting information.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard every single rumor about Smash for Switch, and I've heard every single combination of rumors for Smash for Switch. So it's like, you have to sit there and think, okay, who can I actually trust? Who actually has access to this information? Do I actually have proof that they have access to this information? And it's just like that thought process. I think that doesn't happen for a lot of people. I would say for like Liam Robertson or Emily Rogers or Laura Kate Dale, they tend to do a lot more research than someone like Marcus, who, as far as I'm aware, he just says whatever
he
he's
steals
told
from other leaks.
Yeah,
he goes to 4chan.
Yeah, he just goes to 4chan or like NeoGAF or Reset Error, whatever people go to for their high quality leaks.
Or from what other people tell them.
It's so easy to make a fake rumor too. So
yeah,
this is
the problem
like,
though.
Like there was like a friend of like I'm pretty sure this is posted publicly. Like there's someone who was like sending him DMs about something, and he just like said it was confirmed.
Yeah, it was
someone pretending to be from Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, he pretended to be a Ubisoft employee and then sent a bunch of like fake bullshit like Far Cry 3 Classic coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Sellars tweeted about Far Cry 3, and then when the guy tweeted like, "LOL, I was fucking with you the whole time," he was like, "Well, I never said Far Cry 3 would be coming to the Switch. I just tweeted about it."
But he did the same thing that he did with the Spyro thing.
Backpedals so fucking hard.
Yeah.
But the problem is that a broken clock
is going to be right.
It's still right twice a day. And so what happens is that, you know, when you make up enough bullshit, well, I don't know if I'd say Marcus Sellars makes up shit. He just kind of hears things through the grapevine that aren't true.
Peddles it.
And he peddles it, yeah. And like, so for example, recently he was like, "Yep, I'm an industry insider, guys, because I said that Hello Neighbor would be coming to the Switch." And it was like, dude, fucking everyone saw that coming. Like,
even Best Buy saw it coming and posted it before it got announced.
It was on like a couple of retailers' websites, like including Best Buy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like even like the name of their direct was Hello Switch. So,
but even then, he's like, "Oh, I said it months ago." But it was like, even months ago, you could tell they said they had plans to port the thing to the Switch. Like, it's like, what a shocker! Oh man, an indie game's coming to the Switch. Like, blown the fuck out. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's so much bullshit, and like with me,
it's kind of like sorry.
Yeah, I've written quite a bit about rumors and leaks on Source Gaming, and I've talked about a little bit about it on the YouTube channel as well. It's quite hard to find good sources and good information because, like you said, you got to consider all the factors on why someone would leak if they have actually access to that information, and like their history as a credible source.
One instance you were telling me about was the thing I'm still somewhat livid about when it comes to Switch leaks, which was the lack of analog triggers.
Yeah, I remember I posted if there the Smash rumor that there'll be 2 Smashes for the Switch, and in that post I said I've heard from some developers that analog triggers would be on the Switch, and then I also said I heard from some other developers that it wouldn't be, and it turned out that there wouldn't be.
Yeah, didn't you say something like there was like one source that was telling you that there wasn't going to be analog triggers, yet everyone else said there was?
If you,
even Laura Kate Dale said there was.
Oh yeah, if you look at all the other leakers, everyone was saying that there was analog triggers, and I had one source, just one source that was like saying that there wouldn't, or not one source, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's
the minority was definitely no analog triggers.
It's so inconsequential. Like it's same thing with Metroid Prime 4. The fucking, before every Nintendo E3 Direct for the last 6 years?
Yeah.
They have been saying, "Oh yeah, Metroid Prime 4 is going to be announced this year." It has happened non-stop. And then finally it happens this year. But it's like, at this point, it's like it was so fucking expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Reggie also said, talk to me in 1 year, and he said the same thing about Mother 3.
Where's Mother 3?
Come on, Nintendo.
But yeah, like it's kind of what's happening with the directs right now, where it seems like weekly everyone's like, "There's probably going to be a direct this week," and it's like, at some point you're going to be right.
Yeah. Eventually.
If you say it every single week, eventually, oh, what do you know? There was the direct this week. Look at me. I'm real good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, Colin, are you an industry insider?
I mean, you just got to delete all the times that you're wrong.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, the Marcus. And
yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
Oh man, like on his Discord, he was like, I don't know, Liam is just always salty.
I think the most dangerous thing about leaks, like the absolute dangerous thing, is when websites start picking up on this stuff, and start reporting it nearly as fact. There was like, for example, fucking Eurogamer recently was like, oh yeah, Black Ops 4 is coming out this year for the Switch as well, and it's going to be set in modern day.
No, they said that Marcus, they were able to confirm that Black Ops 4 was in development, but they weren't able to confirm that the Switch was in development. The Switch version.
Well, when I was reading the article, I believe that the only source they had was the Marcus Sellars tweet.
No, it was if it's Eurogamer, they definitely
They were sourcing Marcus on this, though.
They said Marcus,
at least partially.
Yeah, they said that Marcus. They said that he was right about Black Ops 4, but he wasn't. That they weren't able to independently confirm that that a Switch version was in development.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's also like, come on, Black Ops 4. Who didn't see it coming?
I mean, yeah, it's like I was saying on Liam's podcast last week.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you want that, you can check out.
I'll go listen to that then.
No, you have to either donate to his or my Patreon.
Send me an MP3. We're friends.
And then please send me that MP3.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about that. It's like, well, Treyarch was up for Call of Duty's development. Like, everyone was
That's how
saying.
It works.
Yeah. What series does Treyarch make?
They make Black Ops. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, come on. Or like ND Cube is making Mario Party. I'm shocked. Like I don't know. I've never seen that coming.
But yeah, that's usually my go-to with leaks and rumors and all that hot trash.
I would say like
is
like treat it as a rumor. Don't treat it as fact. And
I love reading this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think it's absolutely fascinating because I love playing the what if game.
Fan fiction.
It's yeah, exactly. It's great. I like there's I posted while we were recording this. There was like a fucking 4chan leak that's total probably bullshit, but like I just love reading it. It's really fun to entertain the idea of a lot of these. But I think you should take everything, even from people who say they are respected and have definite sources. You should still take everything with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah, like I've been trying to promote that with Source Gaming itself. Like, even if we say something is correct, you should question us. You should double check us, because we're not going to be right all the time.
I mean, I think a great example was when all three, the trio, Emily, Laura, and Liam, were saying like, we're going to be getting. What was it? They were saying we're going to be getting a new Mario Kart and then ports of Splatoon and Xenoblade. And they were definite on it. And someone was like, no, we're getting sequels to Splatoon 2 and Xenoblade and Mario Kart's getting the port. And they were like, no, that's bullshit, not going to happen. And then it happened.
And they also confirmed ARMS in that leak, right? And everyone was still saying, yeah that's not happening. Yeah.
No,
some of them were even saying, like, Breath of the Wild was not going to be a launch title yet.
Lower Kate Dale said that, if I remember correctly, Lower Kate Dale said that Breath of the Wild was going to be delayed, or possibly be delayed. I believe it was Emily who had ARMS leaked in her bingo card, actually, before the direct. So I think she was... like, Emily was actually really correct with the Switch's hardware specifications. Like, I think she only missed the analog triggers. And then Liam, he initially was against that 4chan leak, the one where that guy that was actually at the event, but then later said that, oh no, I was mistaken. It's real.
Yeah, but Colin just wants to know about when the UI is getting updated.
No,
fuck, I don't know.
I'm not Connor.
I know Colin though. You're very like adamant when there's coming to be more features for the actual Switch itself.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious about that. I think it's gonna come with a
massive
the online
like,
service.
yeah.
I think it's going to be a massive overhaul
Yeah.
of the OS. I don't think they're going to be like, here's a new, bunch of features, and then we're going to have another overhaul later. They'll probably just do it in one go. That's usually how Nintendo does it.
I think I don't think it'll be as big as the 3DS update. Like where the 3DS got like the Miiverse icon and like the themes and stuff like that. Icons, I don't think we'll ever get that.
There's just a lot of little things though that can make that go along.
Well, we might, but it's not going to be in one update. It's going to be like gradually over time.
I'm still hoping that they eventually overhaul the Nintendo eShop because I don't like the way it is right now. It's
not very good.
It worked at launch because there was like 20 games.
Yeah.
But now it's just it's not fun.
There's
to
like
navigate.
15 games coming out a week. They really need to have like a featured page. I think that's pretty much really all it needs, and like a couple other quality of life stuff.
Like in the last year, they only added like a sale tab.
Yeah.
Do they have a category search?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, I thought they do. They do.
No, they do. If you go into like the full thing, you can search by like certain stuff. I know they're adding reviews.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm like, I think the Wii U's eShop was better.
Oh yeah,
totally.
Yeah, it's I like the simplicity of the UI. I really like clean I know there are people who are out there who are like, I think UI should all be like Persona 5, but
it's so unlively.
I like clean UIs, like Breath of the Wild's UI, how it's very straightforward and clean. Yeah, I think
like, listen,
those age well.
I'm like A-okay with oh shit, that's a pretty big discount on SD cards.
Oh my god, Colin.
I should really snag a couple. But I'm gonna post this in video games. But what was I gonna go ahead with this? I don't know. Like I definitely miss, like music. I know that's like the big one for a lot of people is like, why doesn't the Switch UI or shop have background music? I liked it on the Wii and the Wii U, but I'm also like not opposed to it just not being there on the Switch.
Yeah.
Because it's a portable console. I don't want to like whip out my Switch like on the train and all of a sudden like the fucking like Wii Shop music is playing while I'm just looking at all the games I have downloaded.
Reminds me, I remember someone complaining that the Switch didn't have an MP3 player in it.
That's weird.
Yeah, because their argument was that the Vita had one, but it's also
but
like
the Vita's really bad at it.
And it's also like everyone has a phone now with like Amazon Music Unlimited.
Yeah,
just use it, but it doesn't need those things.
Yeah, like at some point, like it doesn't need it. But I will say that the Switch needs better voice chat.
Oh, totally.
You mean a voice chat system?
Yeah, like the fact that you have to go through your phone for that—that's ridiculous.
The wires. Oh my god!
I'm currently working on a Switch video. God knows when that will be finished. But I did like hardcore research into like why.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was trying to figure out just why, and I think from what I get is Reggie was like, oh well, when you're out in public, you're using your phone as like probably a hotspot anyway. So if you have your phone out, you're probably also going to be using it for voice chat anyway.
But the thing is, like, if you have the Switch connected to that hotspot, you might as well use that for your voice chat anyway.
Yeah.
Like, the reason they probably can't do it is because I think if you look at like the developer leaks, like the the manual that was leaked like shortly before the Switch came out. If you look at that, then you will see that the Switch doesn't actually have a lot of power in the background. Like a lot of it's just dedicated to the game.
Isn't that
It still has a gig.
Yeah, it has a gig of
RAM. Okay, it has a gig, okay. But like I don't know if it could do video chat or voice chat.
There was a rumor that Matt and I were reading
Mm-hmm.
that, like, some guy was like, they're gonna make a new Switch with, like, an extra gig of RAM just for voice chat, and everyone else has to use the old phone method. And I'm like, no fucking way.
I don't think they're gonna do a massive Switch revision.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't.
It's too early.
I don't expect it later in life either, though, to be honest. I'm not expecting a Switch revision at all. Maybe minor tweaks to make the thing run
I
better.
think there'd be one eventually. Like,
I think, for the most part, we're going to be seeing a lot of silent revisions. Stuff kind of like the pre-slim PS4, where, like, internally and even externally they changed a lot, but it wasn't, like, a newer version of the PS4. It was still the same thing.
You're gonna be able to open up your Nintendo Switch dock, and you're just gonna find, like, a piece of 3D printed plastic for the fan.
Yeah. That's something that definitely needs an overhaul. The dock needs to be good.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this. Someone found out that by 3D printing, like, a little airway for the Switch fan in the dock, you can get better airflow that, like, dramatically reduces the heat of the system.
Yeah. I think they were just, like, totally content on that really weird idea of, like, you're gonna have your phone out for hotspot, but I mean, the Switch does accept mics through the headphone jack.
It's a very weird system.
VoIP in Splatoon 2, like, in LAN mode. You can just plug it into the a headset into the Switch and it works. USB audio is supported by the dock. It really would not be that hard to implement. And on top of that, the whole personal hotspot thing is garbo, because, like, you're more likely to be using Starbucks free Wi-Fi than, like, your phone's data. Especially if you live in Japan and there's no reason to have, like, personal hotspot on your phone when you can just go to the store and buy a little Wi-Fi adapter that you carry with you.
I mean, Japan is also getting really good at public Wi-Fi.
At public Wi-Fi as well, yeah. That was
because of the Olympics.
That was the big saving grace when I went to Japan, and the mobile PCS fucked me over and said, yeah, you only get 300 megabytes of data.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, you can also use any, like, public and private, like, Wi-Fi signal, like, hosted by us. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, like, they could be doing so much more with the Switch, but it's still, like, fine and dandy at the end of the day. Like, I think the reason why more people aren't up in arms about it is simply due to the fact that, I
think
people are kind of sick of it. People are kind of sick of, like, the modern console ecosystem. They just kind of want to go back to being able to...
I think Nintendo fans are pretty forgiving of Nintendo.
They really are.
Like, when I wrote that Nintendo Switch voice chat is awful article, people gave me shit. They're like, it's okay. Everyone has a phone. What are you talking about? This is not a problem.
It's always the company you like that can do no wrong.
But there's also a lot of people I've talked to who are just like, I don't care, I just want to put the fucking game in the console and it works.
Yeah.
You know, the system, or like have to deal with, like, day one patches or all that. They just want to put Zelda into the system and, hey, look, I'm playing Zelda immediately.
They want a game system for games.
Which is the thing that I fucking loved about the Switch. I bought it at Best Buy, and I configured it, like, on the drive home.
Yeah.
Like, I set up the whole thing right then and there. Didn't even need Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anywho, we've been going on for 2 hours now, so let's wrap this up. Dustin, I want to thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you will forever.
Forever? Oh.
Forever?
We'll have him back, probably. I don't know.
Unless
every single time.
I was just an awful guest.
No,
you're fine.
Listen.
Colin, here's the thing. After doing about 18 poods with Colin, let me tell you this. Colin pretty much controls the conversations in these things. Either because he's keeping the conversation going, or because he starts talking over you, and you just are like, I guess I'm letting him talk now.
I'm a rambler. I ramble.
Yeah, and then it's like if you try and talk over Colin to say what you want to say, he's like, "Shut up! I'm talking."
Eat a dick.
eat that dick. Eat it good.
Eat it.
Hello, welcome to Collins. What do you like?
Doesn't matter. All of it can be fixed in editing.
Exactly.
Bitch.
Just have that be the beginning and ending. It's actually like a 1 minute podcast. It just goes straight from the intro to "it can be fixed in editing, bitch." The Colin Dram special.
Yeah, dude.
But anyways, yeah, it's very weird doing a podcast without Matt, but we told him we were going to do this like a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
And I think as an alternative, him and I and Caleb are going to do another one. It really depends on when Matt finishes Persona 5, because we're going to do like a big Persona series gush, and I'm going to talk about some of the things I don't like about how Persona's been going lately. But there you go. That's
it is.
There it is. Hey, boo boo. What's inside this dick-a-nick basket? Anyways. So like, yeah. We want to try and have other people on here, because having it just be the same 3 people over and over again can be incredibly tiring. It's nice to mix it up.
Yeah, you start to talk over the same things over and over again.
Yes, and I remember for the first few for the first few
podcasts, we'd always come back to Parappa.
Right? That's what I was about to say. It would always come back to Parappa somehow. We haven't mentioned Parappa in a while, but I would say about 70% of Poods have a Parappa mention in them, maybe?
Some sort of Parappa reference.
Yeah.
I guess this is this podcast reference.
Yeah,
unless, like, we want to take that stream where Colin and I were playing Parappa.
We just scream, yeah.
I still remember being like the Burger Master and mashing L and R, and he just like screams as he dunks his head in like the fry juice. What, the oils that are baking the fries? Like, holy shit. It's so good though.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Maybe one day Brian will actually put this shit on an audio distribution platform.
It's almost like I don't have enough space to put it anywhere.
What?
I know there's people asking me to put it on iTunes, but last time I checked, iTunes has like some super weird restriction.
You have to like host it with an RSS feed.
Yeah, something like that. Do you actually know how to do that, Dustin?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm gonna need help with that. Because I could not figure it out last time. I think there was just something that was giving me a hard time or whatever. I don't know. It shouldn't be too hard. It didn't seem like it would be hard, but I don't know. Something gave me an issue. Other than that, no. Let's actually fucking finish the thing, because now I'm rambling.
All right.
Yeah.
Nighty-night / good morning, everybody.
My sake worn off.
I can tell. All right. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.